What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are on Madden 21 franchise doing another Pro Bowl kind of experiment. This one's a proper experiment. The other one's literally just, putting the Pro Bowlers in, playing the games, but this time, we're going to see if a team made up of players that were snubbed from a 2021 Pro Bowl spot, not that they're going to play the game anyways, would make the Super Bowl. Of course, I apologize, okay? I'm not perfect. There's going to be names that I miss, but these are the most blatant and obvious ones. And even if I miss a blatant obvious one, I'm sorry. I'm only human. I'm just like you guys that voted for the the bad player. The wrong ones. Of course, some of these were really bad, and we'll get into them. But as of right now, Tom Brady definitely could have made the Pro Bowl, and then Ryan Tannehill is easily the number one guy that should have been a Pro Bowler. But once again, I will say certain positions, quarterback, running back, corner, wide receiver, those were the tough ones to vote. I'm not going to blame it too much on these, but still, it technically counts as a snub, obviously. As far as running back goes, we have James Robinson and Ronald Jones. Once again, another position that's very tough to grade. We have James Robinson as the starter. Andy Janovich is a couple of fullbacks that could have been. Once again, it's a fullback. Who cares? As far as wide receiver goes, Allen Robinson is obviously one of the top names for the snub list. Calvin Ridley, very close as well on that list that should have made it in. Terry McLaurin was on that list as well. Mr. Tyler Lockett, you could have made a case for. And then, of course, Jakeem Grant, the kick returner. Once again, for the entire position here, I can't blame it. I just can't. It's hard to blame it when there's so many other great names and bigger names that should have and did make the list. Now, for the tight end, there were a few on the NFC side that were pretty bad just because Evan Ingram had zero business being in the Pro Bowl. Of course, the number one obvious choice, Robert Tonyan, the 10-touchdown man in half the targets, I believe, than Evan Ingram. Actually, maybe 2.5 times the less amount of targets, if that even makes any sense. Clearly, Evan Ingram was not a guy that should have made the Pro Bowl. And then Logan Thomas, even he was better than freaking Evan Ingram, who had way more targets. As far as linemen goes, there are a lot of names. There's a few that were super obvious, some not as obvious. I'm sorry, this is probably the position that I'm going to mess up the most is O-line. Mekhi Becton definitely could have been a guy on the list for Pro Bowl. Garrett Bowles, a lot of people thought would have been on there. Huge improvement of a season. As far as guard, I put Wirfs at guard because he is a right tackle, but I couldn't really think of any guards, so I put Wirfs at left guard because he could have made it as a tackle. Center, Corey Linsley, for several weeks now, has been named the best center in football, but of course he does miss here in the Pro Bowl. Has had a little bit of injuries lately. It is, once again, it's O-line. I'm not going to blame people as much because, once again, if it's not a big name, I will admit, I even looked up the stats for O-linemen. It's not super easy to find. It really isn't. And then the biggest name on the offensive line spot is Wyatt Teller, 86 overall star development, 25-year-old, playing really well for the Browns. Hell, a lot of the Browns linemen you could have made an argument to be on this list. And then Colt Miller, who I believe has only given up a singular sack this year, is at the right tackle spot. Yannick Ngakoue is our left end here, just simply for the... Actually, he's not our left end. Trey Hendrickson's going to be, but he's on the defensive line here as he was bouncing around teams left and right and still posting a decent season so far. Right end Brian Burns, 8 sacks, definitely deserves to be on the list. And then Trey Hendrickson, who is leading the league, I believe, in sack totals, will be our starting left end. DT DeForest Buckner was a crime to not be on the list, playing insanely well right now. Stephon Tuitt has played pretty damn well, and so has Leonard Williams. As far as linebacker goes, there's a lot of arguments for different linebackers, but I will admit this is another position where it's kind of just the competition stuff. It's tough, so I can't really blame it, but Roquan deserves to be there in my opinion. Hassan Reddick, Levante David has been snubbed his entire career for everything. Of course, Zach Cunningham having a pretty good year. Devin White, really solid season for the Buccaneers. He's actually almost like a league leader in sacks, basically. Bud Dupree, of course, really good season as well. And then corner, J.C. Jackson, Carlton Davis, Darius Williams, and we also have Isaiah Rogers as the punt return specialist. Safeties, again, a tough one because there are a lot of good safeties. Jesse Bates should have made it. Marcus May probably should have made it. And then Poyer. Those Bills safeties have been disrespected for years now. As far as kicker goes, Jason Sanders, I don't know if they really got it wrong, but a really good kicker this year for the Dolphins. And then Michael Dixon at punter. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Here we are at the playoffs. Are we in them? And we are. Only a 9-7 though. 89 overall team. I want to see how that compares to the rest of the league, especially when a lot of these players are players that, make the team they were currently on better. The Packers were an 84 overall, and that's before all of the auto upgrading. Some of these other teams kind of low overalls comparatively because of losing those players. I mean, we're looking at the overalls in 84, 85 are some of the highest we're seeing. 86 for the Chiefs, who are favorites to win the Super Bowl. The Niners, obviously injuries aren't a thing in this one. 87 overall. 89 overall, 9-7. Gotta love the broken sim. Regardless, though, we're going to act like it didn't happen. We'll take a look at the schedule. Lost to the Bills, lost to the Niners. Okay, fair enough. Niners, Broncos, Cardinals. I guess Cardinals, Chiefs, fair enough. Dolphins, no. They did play some pretty good teams. I can't lie. The Jets really not set up for success in this one. Tannehill, though, with a massive 4,700-yard season, 40 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Rushing, James Robinson, can't lie, the running backs did not play well. Receiving, Calvin Ridley was great. Terry McLaurin was pretty solid. Tanyan was pretty solid. Allen Robinson was okay. A lot of these seasons, though, Tanyan and Robinson, well, maybe not Tanyan, but Robinson, obviously some of them on par for better seasons in real life. Garrett Bowles, yikes. Colt Miller, yikes. O-line numbers are pretty, it's all Madden. Sack totals, 10.5 for Buckner, 4 for Burns, 3.5 for Hendrick. This is why you didn't make the Pro Bowl. Of course, looking at the interception numbers, 3 for Davis, 2 for David, 2 for Bates, 2 for Williams, 1 for Roquan, 1 for J.C. Jackson. Kicking, Sanders literally has that many misses this season, but on twice the attempts. Actual nutcase. And then Dixon, very similar to his real-life yards per punt. Jakeem Grant with a kick return touchdown. Gotta love it. Isaiah Rogers, unfortunately, no punt return touchdowns, but kick returning was pretty good for him. As far as the league goes, I kind of want to see what the standings were, because once again, teams were worse than they normally were because of losing their players. The Giants, I'm trying to think, did somebody lose players from that division? 12-4, interesting stuff. Right now, I'm not seeing any crazy teams that should have made it didn't. The Seahawks, that's one for sure, because obviously they lost Lockett. Anyone else I'm trying to think of? It's very tough because Madden is just random. The sim is just so randomized. But all right, they make the playoffs. Can they get to the Super Bowl? Of course, going against the Browns week 1 is, that's the unluckiest draw ever, right? It is so unlucky. Let's go to the Super Bowl, see who wins. And I kind of want to take a look at some of the stats around the league. Did Rodgers play a lot worse? Did some of these guys play a lot worse? The Browns, of course, win the Super Bowl. So not a really great decider. Maybe we should have chose a team that was in the NFC side just because the AFC side is so glitched for Madden, where the Browns are just the greatest team ever. Of course, they finally look okay in real life, but wow, look at these rushing numbers. Absolute pedestrian stuff. Calvin Ridley played a really good part, though, throughout this entire season. Defensively now, Myles Garrett, Roquan. We got a couple. We got some team effort in there. Gotta love the teamwork. Kicking, Cody Parkey. Pretty basic stuff, right? Let's take a look at those numbers, though. I want to see the numbers for the rest of the league. So, with a lot of Pro Bowlers being mixed around, Josh Allen still did pretty damn well. Did he lose a player? I'm trying to feel it. No, I don't think he did. He didn't lose any players. Drew Brees didn't lose any players. Cam never had any players to start with. Calvin Ridley being gone. Matt Ryan doesn't care, which is just untrue in real life. Losing Lockett didn't affect Russell too much. Losing, no, they didn't lose a tackle in this one. Phillip Rivers. Some pretty, expected numbers here. Rodgers, not a bad season, even without Tanyan, who's got, a lot of his touchdowns in real life this year. Quarterbacks don't seem to be affected. What about running backs? Nick Chubb didn't care that he lost his guard. Oh, man. It appears that you lose some of your best players. It doesn't matter. Of course, Calvin was the best wide receiver in the league. It didn't really hurt or help Julio. He's kind of, average numbers for Madden Sim. I'm trying to think, is there anyone else? Like, Dawson Knox had an amazing season. Jesus. Blocking. Anyone do bad because they missed their teammates? Can't rob me, no run game because of Robinson being gone. That's such a reach, but that's all I can really think of on that one. Defensively, sack totals, lesser sacks because they lost their teammate, maybe? I mean, I'm not really... it looks... I don't know what I'm looking for here. It's really hard to see anything different. Kicking, I guess the Dolphins, maybe? Who was the Dolphins kicker? Dolphins didn't have a kicker. Am I blind? Did I miss something? Dolphins just didn't kick field goals this year? Interesting. What about the Seahawks? Oh, there you go. It's Braden Mann from the Jets. Interesting numbers. Was our kick return the best? Wait, hello? Didn't Jakeem get a kick return touchdown? Am I on drugs? I swear Jakeem got a kick return touchdown. I don't even know, dude. This game is strange. But of course, that is going to be the experiment. Kind of a short one. Really wish I would have chose a team that wasn't the Browns, but the real, juice of the video, the meat of the video, was the talking point about which players were snubbed. Let me know in the comment section below who you guys think were snubbed the most. I know you guys did make some comments from our latest Pro Bowl video, and I took a decent bit of the suggestions. But yeah, let me know again if there was someone that I missed, mainly. And that's pretty much it. If you have an idea for something like this in the future, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr, where we streamed last night. Maybe the next stream would be like Sunday, hopefully. Of course, this week is obviously going to be busy for most of us. Even if we're not going anywhere, we're still going to have some sort of plans, most likely all of us. And if you don't, make some plans. Even if it's just like wrap yourself with like Christmas lights and like dance around with the lights on. I mean, don't do that because it could be dangerous, but like do something safely. Okay, that's all I can. Watch a Christmas porn. I don't know, dude. Whatever. Regardless, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.